Yes, right. So, hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're in watching us today. Um, Unfortunately, we had to postpone this event from last couple of weeks due to things or a problem out of our control. So today is the day that we've got our guest and myself. My name is F1 Ponsa, as you all know, and I've got today here with me my good friend Marcus. Um, we've had an event before, which was an unplanned one after I posted an opportunity, and it looked like a lot of you had questions, but I didn't know most of it, but he did. So today I have him here as well. Reason being, a lot of people consider the Canada, USA, UK, China, India, but not a lot of people actually know Ireland has got um, great universities, great culture, fully funded opportunities out there as well, which is not being used at the moment, or not a lot of people have tapped into it. Well, Netherlands as well. So today I have here with me Marcus, who's actually a beneficiary of a fully funded um, Ireland government, right? Full funded opportunity. So today we're just going to talk about it and why you need to consider Ireland, and why you need to consider it, or why you should consider it, more or less. So he's going to talk to us about how he got there, how he's getting on, um, and weigh the pros and cons of studying in Ireland. So today, changing the narrative. My name is F1 Ponsa, and I'm here with Marcus. So let Marcus introduce himself, and then we will start the event. Also, if you have any question, do not hesitate to put it in the comment section. We're live on YouTube as well as LinkedIn, so share the link for others to join, those that would benefit from this event. So Marcus, over to you. If you can introduce yourself to our lovely listeners.
Okay, so I'm Marcus. Marcus Winston Johnson. That's my full name. But normally I just like to keep it short as Marcus. So I am an educational enthusiast. So let me start by saying that. Okay, so I am into. I'm a professional cybersecurity engineer by profession. I I I love everything security, everything technology, and everything computer. So, yeah, that's about me. I've been in the industry for a while. I found myself in Ireland doing my master's degree. I just completed, and I'm awaiting graduation on the 26th. So, but the 26th of this month, I'll be graduating with my master's in cybersecurity. So, yeah, basically, that's about me. I'm Ghanaian, Liberian mixed, and I love the Ghana part because I s- that's where most of my memories, my childhood, everything I got it from, my education, my everything. So yeah, and then the Liberian part is my both parents are by Liberians, and then I spent few years there, getting to know the people, the food. I mean, interesting. Yeah, and then I I'm a go-getter. I love opportunities. I love searching for opportunities. I love helping people find opportunities. And basically, I'll just stop at that. That's about me.
Great, that's a great intro. And I only found out he's got a Ghanaian roots the last time. We've been
Yeah.
talking quite a lot, but it was only when we had that event that I actually knew he had the Ghanaian roots. But here we go. Yes, so we'll go straight into the question. So I think from the last event, you spoke a little bit. No, you actually spent quite a lot of time or
Yeah.
the hour and a half or so on um the opportunity or the fully funded opportunity that you're on. But today is going to be a mix of questions.
Yeah.
um you're gonna have to walk us through your journey and why you settled on Ireland.
Okay.
So my first question being, which other opportunities did you apply for?
Okay.
Did you have to choose between Ireland and another opportunity, or Ireland was the only opportunity you had? And that would then lead us into the other questions
Okay.
from the answer you give.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So there were other opportunities like Chevigny, which is mostly UK based, and then
Yeah.
there were some American US opportunities, and then yes, there was an American opportunity for a school for I wanted to attend a university in the US called Embry-Riddle. That's an aviation school. So I wanted to be a pilot, and then
Oh, okay.
there was
A
some
pilot, and now you are type
yes,
that.
yes,
Okay, I'll come to that.
you come to that.
I'll
Yeah.
come. Yeah,
There
yeah.
was
That's
another
that's
opportunity.
two different.
Yeah, there was another opportunity in South Africa again for an aviation school to attend, and then I had some other issues. So and then the Chevigny came, and then I didn't make it because the Chevigny had a lot of requirements. You needed to have an English score, which they expected you to write before,
Mm,
and then they expect you to apply to the schools. You have to be accepted. You have to get an admission, and then you have
mm-hmm.
to present the
Unconditional offer. Yeah.
yeah, unconditional. That's it. So
Mm,
the Chevigny, and then the Chevigny was quite challenging. I loved it, but then the part where you have to get unconditional, most of the universities once you don't have an English score, is definitely you cannot get an unconditional admission. So Chevigny was not an option because at the time I never had an English score. So judging between and for the school in South Africa, it was South Africa has one of the best aviation schools in Africa. So I chose that place because they had good aviation schools. But then the problem was I was expecting the funding, and then the funding didn't show up. I was disappointed. And then the schools there in South Africa had no opportunity for funding and student aid and anything. And aviation is pilot is a very expensive profession. So what I did was,
mm,
okay, since I couldn't go that way, the one in the US, the Embry Riddle 2 was expensive. I tried looking for scholarship. I couldn't get scholarship for any piloting program, any. So then thought to myself, okay,
mm,
if that's the situation, why don't I, since aviation is not very far from technology, why don't I just go into technology and then see what I can make out of it? If I find passion in it, I could pursue it further, or I could work, make some money, and go revert back to my original career. So those were my career goals. So I sat down, I made
mm,
some plans, I talked to some friends, and then I was online looking for different opportunities when I came across the Irish Aid. So then I like, okay, I'm someone who has always loved that part of the world, the UK arena, the UK, part of
mm.
Ireland is in the UK. So the northern part of Ireland is part of the UK.
Yep.
So I've always loved
Yeah.
the UK terrain. Most because of the English language, one, and the accent, I think. And like I'm just attracted to those people. So yeah. So when I saw Irish, like, oh, okay, this is not very far from what I want and where I want to be. Since they're almost the same people, I'm going to take advantage. I could get that means I will be closer to my dreams. Okay, so that's why I decided to take the
Mm.
Ireland route. So then I read about Ireland, and I was amazed. In fact, I was taken aback to have seen that this country exists, and a lot
Mm.
of young people don't even know that this country exists, and they don't even know the kind of opportunities that are in abundance for students. You know, Ireland, as an island, they don't manufacture, they don't manufacture anything. But they happen to be one of the richest country within the Euro belt. And you'll be asking yourself,
Yeah.
how? Because almost all the big tech companies in the world have their headquarters here. That's one.
Yeah.
Two, the country is cold throughout the year, which makes it very good for tech companies that use a lot of power. So
Mhm.
come- they settle here a lot. Another thing is the country has some of the best educational system you can find in the world. Oh my goodness. If you do the rankings, students who like rankings, if you do the rankings, Irish universities are amongst some of the world top universities. So these are all the things that you look at. But most besides that, the quality of education is top notch, and then the people are friendly. But so all these things taken into consideration, looking at what I wanted to do, the technology was growing fast, and then they getting students to come this way, and all the student policies they have that make you so comfortable when you come.
Mm.
I thought about like, okay, that could be a good place to settle. And then the environment is a bit non-hostile. They don't have a lot of crime rate. The crime rate is very low. I that I saw that really attracted me aside the education part, and
Mm.
then I decided to go in for it. So if I wasn't even sure I was going to get it because it was a very huge competitive process, and then
Mhm.
I ended up getting it. So the long and short of the matter is I ended up getting it. I ended up getting here. So I finally got here, and then I realized that what I thought I knew about Ireland, there's more to it. So
There's more to it.
I decided to explore, see the opportunities that are there for students, for people who want to travel and young folks who want to relocate. Because the difference with most of the other countries that students go to is to integrate into the society becomes a very serious problem, especially like the
Mm.
places like the US. To integrate takes so long, it takes forever. You have to be
Mm.
either, if you decide to stay in the US, you have to either be under the radar. You know, let me put it that way. You have to be doing all jobs. You have to be hiding from immigration, and you have to be looking over your shoulders. I mean, you can, and if you get caught up, if you come in contact or in conflict with the law,
Mm.
and your record is pull up, you are sent back straight to your home country. And
Yeah.
people, and is so. These are all the things I looked at. And like, I thought Ireland was the best place to be because let me give you some of the reasons why I think it's a student friendly environment, and it embraces student. So you come, you have two kinds of study visa. You when you come for an undergrad, because we have the long stay visas, and then we have the short stay visas. So the category is C and D. So C is for short stay, which is under 90 days, and then D is for long stay, which is above 90 days. So above 90 days are for those who want to do undergrad and longer period of education. And the shorter stay for those who just want to come under 90 days, come and visit and see and stuff. So for students who come on the under the category D, you get to fall under any one of the following categories of student visa stamps. We have stamp 2, we have stamp 2A, we have stamp 1, we have stamp 1G. Now, if you come for a master's program, automatically you are given, if you are accepted, and you are given stamp two. Now, stamp two is a visa status for students that are pursuing higher education at level nine. The Irish uh, higher education call it level nine. So master's degree programs up to PhDs are honor level nine, and then level eight are for those who are doing undergrad. Okay, 4 years program, 3 years programs. So when you are giving stamp two as a student on that status, you can do a lot of things, even though it's limited. You can work 20 hours doing regular school time and 40 hours out of doing the summer break. Imagine part time. The only thing is you can't get a permanent job on that visa status. You can't get a permanent job, but you can work part times. You can make good money. You can take care of yourself. You don't have to look over your shoulders, and then you just need to meet the requirement to renew. If for whatever
Mm.
reason on that visa status, because that visa has requirement also, is you need to maintain or stay in school, make good grades to maintain that visa status. Now, if you come under that visa status, like for a master's program, maybe a year, and somewhere along the line you failed, maybe some of your courses, and you have to repeat, you may lose that visa status and you may go back. So, in as much as you want to remain on the visa status, you want to also work part time. You have to take your schooling very seriously. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but even as that, there's still flexibility. You can renew. Your educational institution can write the Irish immigration and tell them, make some excuses for you. These were the reasons why maybe you were not very regular in school, and they could renew even the stamp two. You could get it renewed again because it has to be renewed. It has a period of 1 year expiry. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, that's for the stamp two. So the stamp two for all those who are coming for a longer stay. So that's under the category D, longer stay, either undergrad or master's or level 8, level 9 programs. That's how flexible it is. You are treated as a resident. You get all the benefits aside from a permanent job. You do every other job. You get every other benefit that you should get if you are working as a student and you are working under that visa status. Now the interesting thing is being a student in Ireland also has a lot of benefits. Every store, every grocery store, every mall, every business place you enter and you show and you are able to identify yourself as a student. You get discount on almost everything.
As a student.
You get discount on almost everything. On
Nice.
on public buses, once you have your student card, you pay less. So uh, buses that run within the city, like Dublin, every everyone that has a student card pays €1 on the bus to any distance within Dublin. Any distance
Wow.
in Dublin. Now, if you are not a student and you are using a regular adult card, bus card, you pay €2. So see the difference.
Mm.
Yeah. You go into a store and then they have
Yeah.
discounts for students just because you're a student. I mean, the environment is so friendly. And then you get a lot of bonuses. Yeah. So yeah, that's for the stamp two. You can for the stamp you can also leave the country on stamp two and return on stamp two. You don't Once you have stamp
Okay.
two, you leave the country. You don't have to go back to the. You don't have to apply for a visa. Once the stamp two is valid, you can travel on it. In fact, I came back on my stamp two. I just have my status updated, and I just got my new status, the one
Oh,
G.
that's great.
Yes. So for the 1G, the yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. So, I mean, that's how flexible it is. I mean, you get to the immigration, and all you need to show them is your resident permit, and you are allowed into the country without any stress. Because Irish visa is one of the hardest visa to get. Let me be honest with you. It's complicated. It's very stressful. you go through a lot. If you were to apply for an Irish visa through a normal process for school, for
Process,
anything,
yeah.
it's very difficult because you have to prove, depending on what you're coming for. If it's school, you have to prove you have sufficient fund. You have to prove you have this, you have that. You have to prove you'll be able to return. It's very difficult to get an Irish visa. So when you make it through and you get here, you have to be able to make your way in the system, get to know people, find your way around, be able to talk to people, and get things done. So if you manage to graduate from one stamp two, and you go to stamp one or stamp one G, stamp one G is for critical skills. We call that visa critical skill visa. Now, why is it called critical skill? It's called critical skill because either you hold a master degree, or you have an extra critical skill in something that maybe the country needs. So they give you one G. Now one
Mm,
G, you are entitled, you is for 2 years. So one G goes for 2 years. Unlike stamp two, is only for a year. One G goes for 2 years. Now on one G, you can get a permanent job.
okay.
You can do
Was you a
any,
student?
yeah, while you're no, if you're on one G now, you're no more a student. Once you
Okay.
move to
So
one G,
so
means you're not more a
after
student. Yes.
okay, so after your G2, is it what you
Yeah.
called it?
Stamp two. Yeah.
Yeah, so after stem two, after
Yeah.
your stem two, that would be after you've graduated or whilst you're
After
still in
you,
school.
yeah. So stamp two is whilst you're in school. Whilst you are in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you
So
can come in and out of the country.
you can come in and out of the country on stamp two. Yes.
Okay, and then when you're graduated or after your graduation,
After
you
you
can then move
graduated.
to the
Uh,
right.
Let me clarify. After a successful completion
Yeah.
of your
Hmm.
program, successful. That's the word I want to use.
Hmm.
You have to be
So when you say
successful.
successful, is that
If
like
you
your merit and your distinction?
as not necessarily of not necessarily, but successful in the sense that you
It's just
managed
a
to
pass.
complete all your courses. You didn't fail
Okay.
any.
Okay.
It does. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
interested
That's a good
in the yeah.
clarification. All right.
Yeah. You managed to complete all the courses. You didn't fail any. You didn't leave any behind. That's a successful completion. Now that successful completion is what is needed for the immigration to be able to process your 1G.
Okay.
Yeah. Without that letter, you cannot get 1G.
Right.
Without it, you cannot proceed to 1G. So when you finally get approved for 1G,
So
you,
I've got another question with the 1G.
yeah,
So after you've completed it, right? Do
yeah.
you need a job to in order to qualify to apply for
So
um
the
the
1G.
permanent one?
Okay. So
The
on
1G, yeah.
1G, you don't need a job,
Okay.
but
You
you
just
don't
need to finish your education.
exactly. You just need to finish your
Okay.
education to get the 1G. But the catchy part is once you get the 1G, you need to get a job within the 2 years.
Right. Right. So that's the caveat.
That's the
Okay.
catch. Yeah. So within the 2 years you are given on the 1G, you must have found a permanent job. If within that period
Okay.
you don't get a permanent job, you lose the status. Then you will have to
Okay. So
find
let's let's break it there because it's a good point
yeah,
that to compare it to other countries. So
yeah.
in the UK, you've got 6 months
Okay.
after your graduate education. You've got 6 months on your student visa to
Okay.
find a job or look for a job that would then take you on to
On.
apply for the sponsorship for
Okay.
you to maintain. So for you to be able to stay in the country legally. So this is one thing to consider. I mean, Ireland is giving you 2 years
Yeah, 2 years.
to find a job. this is one of the things that you should consider, why you should consider
Yeah, why you should
Ireland.
consider. Yeah,
I haven't schooled in Ireland, but I've been in Dublin because I was
yeah.
posted in Northern Ireland, and it's just a
Okay.
border away.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
used to
yeah,
actually take
yeah,
day trips
yeah. Day
to
trips. Yeah.
Dublin,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
and the yeah, the lifestyle, the um a few times some of my colleagues had their birthdays in Dublin, and it's good because I
Yeah.
think it's because of the university
Yeah.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
and because it's the city as well. It's actually quite very jazzy, and the
Mm.
people are very friendly, and I think
Yeah.
as soon as they
Yeah.
hear the British accent, they will talk to you forever.
Yeah. Forever.
And it's
Forever.
it's an English speaking country as well, so
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
need to really
Yeah.
worry about the language barrier,
Yeah.
even though it's still very got its European roots.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot in terms of history, like historic,
Exactly. So yeah, very
yeah,
very rich
to
history.
it.
Yeah.
So, as compared, yeah, the reason why I actually organized this is because I realized a lot of people ask about your US, your Canada, your
Yeah.
UK. You
Yeah.
know, some people are now considering Australia. But I sat down and I was like, why is nobody actually thinking of Ireland, especially when I shared that opportunity, and I do hope like a few people did take advantage of that. I started becoming curious and started reading into it, and I said actually, Ireland has got a lot to offer that people don't even know. And the thing is, because it's not a very popular destination now, it is a great opportunity for the very few to actually take that opportunity to get into it before it becomes a popular destination. So hopefully our viewers or our listeners would be able to take that opportunity and start considering Ireland, not Ireland as a destination, and also for the fact, especially if you're into tech, as mentioned by Marcus, that technology is one of the best programs that they offer. They're hands-on, with all the resources that you need. So for our viewers and listeners, you've just joined us. We're talking about the things that why you should consider Ireland as your next destination, or why you should put it on your list of schools or places to study on your study abroad journey. If you missed anything, Marcus started with his background, how he got into Ireland, and the visas that you need to look at with your G1 and G2. Um, and you've got what, 2 years after you've successfully finished or completed your program, you've got
Yeah.
2 years to look for um,
Good job.
a job,
Yeah.
which I believe you should be able to. That's a lot of time,
Yeah.
because most, I think the US as well, the US and the UK, you got six months.
Wow.
Germany, you need to have had a your German should have upgraded to a certain. They have levels. It's a lot to put in my head, unless someone asks, and then I go look out for it before I say it. Yeah, you need to have improved on your German speaking as well, to the basic where you can actually make a conversation in the German language before your visa can be looked at. So Ireland is one that you need to one that you should consider if you haven't, especially those looking to get into tech. And Marcus is also very versed in the cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is also currently a gold mine, where
You
if
know,
you've got
right?
that degree, there is a lot of opportunities out there for you. Now it looks like even warfare is all cyber now.
It's all outside. It's
It's
all
not your
cyber.
physical. Yeah. So, if you join late, this is a summary of what we've covered so far. So, back to you on the 2 years. So, 2 years to look for a job. So, when you do get the job, do you then have to apply for another visa, or that visa just covers you for the 2 years, or as soon as you get a job, it covers you for a certain number of years?
So if you get a 2 year, if you get a permanent job, and the company is willing to keep you, and
Mm.
and and you make above a certain threshold, because right now it used to be 30,000 annual annum. Now it has gone to, I think, 40. If you make above 40, you can then apply for permanent resident. So from that visa status,
Okay.
you get a permanent job that makes that give that gives you an
Pays
annum
you 40.
of above 40. You are
Okay.
eligible to move to permanent. So that's another catch.
Wow.
Yeah. And interestingly, getting the job that pays above 40 or 40 annum is one of the least things, jobs pay so well here. So once you get a good job,
I was gonna say because of the what is it called? Minimum wage.
yeah,
That would cover it easily.
yeah.
Yeah.
So jobs pay so well here. So making 40 an annum is not a very big thing. It's not a very big thing. So it shouldn't sound too big. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's it. So when you move from stamp one, when you move from 1G, you go to one. One now is
Hmm.
you are permanently on the job and you have a sponsorship. So then they take the G out. You see the difference? So one
Okay.
G, one
Yeah.
G is
Yeah.
you're a student that just graduated on the job. Now, when to get rid of the G, you have to get a company that's willing to give you sponsorship. Then, when
Hmm.
the company
Okay.
is able to give you sponsorship, then the G is taken out. Then you become a stamp one holder. From a stamp one holder is you can now apply for permanent resident. Permanent resident, when you get
Mm.
permanent resident, it's 4 years. From permanent resident, you can apply to be an Irish citizen. It's also in total you just in
Wow.
total in total you have to live in the country for about 6 years and you become an Irish. That's how easy they have made
Wow.
it.
That
Very
that,
easy.
that is it. It sounds it sounds less. I'm not gonna use
Yeah,
the word easy
yeah,
here, but it
yeah.
sounds less
It
complicated
sounds, yeah,
than
okay.
the UK because the
Let's use it that way.
UK, yeah, it sounds less complicated
Yeah,
than
it's
the
less
UK because
complicated than the
now,
UK.
I think it's gonna get worse in the UK because now we've got a change
Yeah,
of government, and
yeah, yeah.
from the last budget that they read, it looks like they're gonna they're going to increase the money or like the annual income that you need to have to be able um to maintain or even get or apply residency.
Wow.
Now to get a British residency, it is not cheap. It's not cheap, and there's a lot of hoops and loops that you need to jump
Yeah.
before you can even look at your indefinite leave or even your standard 5 years visa. So Ireland actually sounds it sounds very good. If it is what you've said, it sounds very good. So as you're speaking now, is it just for single people, as in does this cover family? So what about students? I mean, master students normally it's only for a year. So I know most countries do not um I don't want to use encourage or accept, but I know for PhD, because it's so long, some of these offers or opportunities cover family. But what if you have a family? I know it doesn't just cover for masters, it cover for PhD as well. So what if you have a family? Does this also automatically cover your family when you're able to meet all these criteria, or is there a different route for families?
So, one of the reasons why you should choose Ireland as a destination country to study is
Hmm.
is the fact that when you attain the status 1G or even 1, you can bring your entire family on 1G.
Okay. Entire
That's
family,
your entire
namely.
family, namely, and you just name them. I mean, when you because
Okay.
it's a critical skill visa. It's a critical skill
Okay.
visa, meaning you are a professional. So they expect you to
Mm,
have a family. So on 1G, you can bring your family. And if you have a child below 18, you can bring that child. That child has free medical. That child has free tuition. Oh my goodness.
wow.
All comes from your deductions that is made from the work you do.
Okay.
because
Okay.
the one of the tax rate is very high and is a bit high here. So what they do, they don't double tax you, so you cannot be
Mm-hmm.
paying so much tax and be paying school fees and medical. Once they deduct your taxes, your child has free medical, your free school, everything is taken care of. So you don't have to
Wow.
worry about school, you don't have to worry about medical. That's the
Nice.
beauty. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, wow. Yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions or as you're listening, if you have any pressing questions, kindly put it in the in the comment section, and then we'll be able to answer it for you. Right. So now that, okay, we'll come to you personally as Marcus. Now that you've finished your masters, how easy, and easy being in quotes, because I know there's nothing easy.
Yeah.
There's always a little pressure on it to be able to obtain it. But
Yeah.
how, yeah, let me put it, how easy is it to get like another opportunity to further your education in terms of PhD. So, for example, now that you finish your masters, how easy is it to get a PhD degree in case you, let's say, because you've got that 2 years, now you don't want to use that 2 years to work. Well, PhD, you get paid to do a PhD actually. But say you don't want to work, as in just get an employment, a permanent employment, but you decide to venture into PhD. Does that affect your visa? Do you have to get a special visa, or would this also come under the G's, or now the G is still removed because you're seen as a skilled person?
Yeah. So in that case, Ireland has a lot of opportunities when it comes to post postgrad programs. So the government has a lot of scholarship, in fact, to support
Okay.
that. A lot of scholarship to support postgrad programs. So currently, a friend of mine who was on the same scholarship with me, we completed, and the guy has just got another scholarship for PhD. So
Okay.
he and I were discussing, and he was like, "Man, everything is taken care of. Everything is taken care of." When he said everything is taken care of, I mean, how do you mean? He says everything, housing, the visa status is taken care of. I think he I think you maintain you to get when you get the based on what visa status you were on before going to the PhD program. Once you get to the PhD program, you get a G stat. You get a one status, a stamp one
Okay.
status. So the stamp one status is it's like a permanent job. So they take care of you.
Right.
You are on a permanent job. You just steady and everything is taken care of. And then after that, you also have 2 years for that. After that, you can transition into your permanent residence. I- Getting your permanent resident from into your PhD program is one of the easiest way to go. A very easy
Okay.
way to go. Everything is taken care of. Everything is taken care of by the state, and the government has a lot of funding and opportunities to support PhD programs. I decided, oh, I need to rest a little from the aggressive 1 year intensive study. So that's why I couldn't proceed to do masters, to do PhD now. And besides, I've not been one who has fancy PhD. I'm not a fan of PhDs. So
Okay.
I intend to do series of other master programs and not PhDs. I'm not a fan of PhD actually. So I prefer to do more master's program than PhD. So
Okay.
yeah, there are a lot of opportunities there and here for they have this government of Ireland International Education Scholarship. It comes out every year. They fund level 9, they fund level 10. That's masters and PhDs, fully funded. It comes out
Mm.
every year. Aside from the Irish aid that comes out every year, the Irish government has its own scholarship that comes out every year, and it's not restricted to Ireland. It's not restricted. Everyone around the world, once you meet requirements, you can begin. In fact, individuals, institutions in Ireland offer scholarships on their own. So the scholarship my friend got was from another institution, from Trinity College. Trinity gives out scholarships
Okay.
every year, fully funded. And the thing about
Wow.
Ireland scholarships is when they say fully funded, they mean fully funded. Like
Fully funded.
when they tell you
That's
fully funded,
great.
they mean fully funded. You are not going to pay a cent.
Mm.
Everything is going to be taken care of. And the only the only difficult thing I can tell anybody trying or considering Ireland as a destination is to consider is housing. Housing is one of the most difficult things to get here. So government is doing everything possible. They've been increasing the number of housing units. Uh, they over the last 6 months, government is stretching itself, trying to increase a lot of housing units around. But housing is one of the most difficult things. I don't know if the problem is artificial or people are or they just create a situation just to exploit students,
Mm.
but
I
it's very
think
difficult.
housing is a global issue.
I think so.
Yeah, housing is a global issue because the population has increased drastically, and there's not enough homes to accommodate majority of the increase in population. And I think hence why there's a lot of real estate opportunities now going on. However, obviously, if you're not a company that is into real estate, having to put up new structures. So the government are now leasing or giving out a lot of land for real estate agents to put up buildings instead of the government taking that on
Yeah,
board
yeah,
as an
yeah,
extra pressure
yeah.
on them.
That
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's what they are doing. That's what they are
mm,
doing, and they've earmarked by the end of 2025 that the housing crisis would have subsided or brought to a minimum. But
mm,
currently, that's the situation. To get housing is so difficult, and when you do find one, it's so expensive. So expensive. I mean, expensive for a student who's considering to be self-funded. If you are considering to be self-funded to come, you should consider your housing budget
mm,
is one of the things you have to consider. That is if you're considering to be self-sponsored. But if you are looking for scholarships out there, you will be taken care of. But if you are going to be self-sponsored, make sure your housing is taken care of. Housing is so expensive. If you find yourself within Dublin, is the worst. If
yeah,
you are going outside of Dublin, fine. Housing outside of Dublin is okay. It's not very costly, and it's just that from traveling between other counties to Dublin is a long distance, especially if you're a student in school. You have to get to class on time, and if your college is in Dublin, then you have issues. But if you decide to live anywhere outside of Dublin, you are good to go. You shouldn't have a problem with housing.
mm,
Yeah, but within Dublin, it's a serious challenge. Yeah. It's a very serious challenge.
Wow.
So
Okay.
landlords take advantage of this. They charge huge amount. I mean, to get a very small space, shared space, you see people paying 800, 900 euros to share space. That's how expensive it
Wow.
is. That's a lot of money to be paying every month. Imagine if you're not
Sounds
working,
it
you don't,
sounds similar to Luxembourg.
yeah, yeah.
It sounds
So,
similar to Luxembourg because everything else is cheap, but then the housing takes the
yes,
bulk of your money.
yes, yes.
I mean, Luxembourg is also another great destination, but I've not come across any student in Luxembourg at the moment. Like
Exactly.
I can talk a lot about Luxembourg, but as in terms of student or
Yeah, yeah,
education,
yeah, yeah.
I I
You get,
wouldn't I wouldn't be
yeah,
the best, yeah,
yeah,
the best person to talk about. I know, I mean, it's one of the richest countries in Europe. It's
yeah.
such a small country, but it's great for
It's-
how much they pay you. Buses are free. Trains are free. I don't know how that country is running.
yeah.
Um, but
Wow,
yeah,
interesting.
buses are free, trains are free, but accommodation is expensive. Accommodation is
you can have
expensive.
everything, you can
You
have
can have it
everything
all,
free.
exactly. But
Exactly.
yeah, but accommodation is expensive. And it's also not very tapped in terms of the opportunities that they have for international students because
Okay.
it's not your US, your Canada, your UK. People overlook it, but Luxembourg is also a great destination to look at when you're looking for your opportunities. Hopefully, I come across an international student that I can host, and for me to also learn from them as well. But yeah, Luxembourg, Ireland, Poland. Poland is actually also a good one. The few times I've been in Poland, food is cheap. Like I love food, and and Poland is the place I go. Then I realize I'm in a food coma because the amount of money you pay for food and the food
Food.
you get,
Yeah.
it's
Food.
it's
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Yeah, food is cheap, but again, I'm looking for international student and the opportunities there for international students. So anyway, back to Ireland. So now that you're there, right? You've been there for a year and counting. What would you say have been your highlights so far, in terms of the opportunities you've had? And I know you have other colleagues or friends in other countries. Um, what are you having better than them in terms of you being in Ireland? I don't know if my question makes sense because
Yes,
sometimes
yes, yes, it does.
yeah. So yeah, where are you having opportunities or the upper hand over them in terms of those that are in either in UK or US or your Canada and other popular destinations?
Yes, so here one of the stress-free thing I enjoy is I don't have to I don't have to do under the table job, as I call it, under the table
Mm,
job, and then you get paid. I mean, I don't like to look down on the job, but in the US, if you do those jobs, the employers, because you don't have paper, they
mm-hmm,
they exploit you. But here,
mm,
if you do under the table job, you are given your right wage. Once you are once
wow.
your document once you are on any of those visa stamp and you are required to, if it's the 20 hours during your school time, or if it's the 40 hours during the summer, once you are doing part time, you are paid the right wage. You are not exploited. You
That's great.
and when you get paid and you get deductibles, like most of those guys, they deduct from you. If you're a student, you're not supposed to pay tax, but some of the employers don't know, and then they start deducting from you. You can report it, and then all the monies that were taken from you can be given back to you. All can be
Wow.
given back to you. Yeah.
So you don't pay
So
tax as a student?
no, you don't pay on
Okay.
any. If you're doing a part time and you work for it, you're not supposed to pay on it as a student.
Even if you do more than, okay, so
Yeah,
okay,
you have you
another
are
question in the question that I've asked. Is it 20 hours and that's it? unless
It's
it's out of the semester hours.
yes, yes,
Okay.
20. Yeah, out of the semester, then you can go 40. And once
Okay.
you're, yeah, that's it.
Do you
But
get taxed on the 40 though?
no, you're not supposed to. But some employers do. But when you do realize it, you can report it, and then they refund. You get a refund.
Wow.
Yes, you get it. So
Nice.
for me, for example, I I did some part times along the line whilst I was in school, and then there was a lot of deductions, and I didn't know. So I talked to an Irish friend of mine, and then she saw it like, oh yeah, this you can get a refund for this. I'm like, oh okay. So I like okay. So I'm not gonna get a refund now. I'm just gonna let it accumulate, and then at the end of the year, I'm gonna see if I can get a refund for it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how it works. So I've seen the money grow a little bit. It looks good. I'm just waiting for next month and see if I can start to work on my refund, on my refund but stuff. So yeah, these are some of the benefits you get, and then you with the status, you don't have to look over your shoulders. You don't have to worry about anything. You move around freely without worries. Is you travel out and in and out of the country. In the US, you can't do that. If you're on those, if you dare, I don't. Do they call it illegally? I think it would be illegal because to get paper in the US is so difficult. And if you get
Mm-hmm.
there, and if you attempt to leave to get back in the country, is so difficult. You can you
It is.
almost impossible. But with Ireland, once you have that your visa status, even the lowest, which is stamp two, you can leave and come back. Imagine.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
that's some of the advantages. And then with the some of the opportunities, I've been doing part time for now because I was waiting to get my 1G. Now the 1G has come in. I need to start doing some applications for jobs. Most of the jobs go for 1G. Once you don't have 1G, it's difficult to get permanent job. So all the employers in the country, they already know that. So you won't get a job, you won't get a permanent job on stamp two. That I can
mm,
assure you. If an employer does that, they might be taking risk.
mm-hmm.
Some do it if you have if you if I mean if you have something rare talent that they want to use and they don't want to wait, they do it. But those are rare, on a rare instances. Yeah. And the government doesn't find out because it's illegal. Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, it's these are some of the things I enjoy. Um, even though the housing issue, as I mentioned, is a bit challenging. But yeah, you do if you do work some good part times, you can still afford to take care of housing. Yeah, you can still afford to take care of housing. Some part times have daily rates like 15, 16. Some minimum, I mean, the minimum will be 12. So if you do
Mm.
find a very good part time, you can make up to 16, 18. Yeah. I know friends who make part time, they make up to 18 daily rate. Imagine. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah. The environment is very friendly, is very good. You can get part-time jobs so easily. That's one advantage. So easily. You can get part-time jobs. Part-time jobs.
Nice.
Yeah, you can get part-time jobs so easily.
Mm. Wow, that's great. So sometimes I don't like to sound biased because like I get the opportunity to go to a country one time and I can come and say a whole lot of good stuff even though it's just the one time. But I
Yeah.
yeah, we've been in Northern Ireland for 5 years. Dublin was a frequent travel whenever we had the opportunity. Like I said, even if it was just a day trip or for the weekend. And I would say Dublin is on the expensive side,
Yeah.
obviously because it's the capital, just like
Yeah.
every
Yeah. Just
other
like every other capital in
country.
the
When
world. Yeah.
I mean London, London is extortionate. I don't even like going to London
London
anymore.
is very
Um,
expensive. Very
Yeah, I don't like
expensive.
going to London anymore. But yeah, Ireland, Luxembourg. I feel if I'm to relocate from the UK, which I doubt, but if I should, those are the two countries that I would consider relocating to. So I mean, you've said all the good stuff. What are a few of the challenges, if there's any,
Yeah.
that you've encountered so far, aside the accommodation, which you've talked about?
So some of the challenges personally I faced was the Irish society is structured in such a way that the ones that are not very educated,
Mm,
it's difficult to understand them when they speak. The typical Irish, because
mm,
the ones who speak and you can understand them are the ones who are educated. Now, outside those educated ones, the ones that are not very educated, when they speak and they speak with a typical Irish accent, it's horrible. You cannot understand anything.
it's like Northern
Some,
Ireland. They have
yes,
an accent that, yeah, yeah.
and yeah. So some of the challenges I faced was you find yourself in an environment where you have lots of those people around you, those ones who are half educated or not very educated, or
Mm,
and then they talk to you. You enter shops, you enter malls, and you you have to listen keenly, very carefully. You have to listen very carefully, yeah, for you to be able to understand what they're actually trying to say to you, because you will not hear a word. I can trust you on that. And for
mm,
Africans, most of us who came from countries where we are used to people speaking slow and getting it taking it easy with the words, you come and you cannot understand a thing. Is quite frustrating.
mm,
So I used to find it a lot difficult because I couldn't understand those guys. I really had to tune myself. I mean, it got to a point where some of the lecturers, even the educated ones, they still had those accents that proved difficult for me to even understand some of what he was saying. And
mm,
at a certain point in time, I started getting frustrated. But then, as every society is, you have to be determined to learn how to speak, listen carefully. Over time, I grew fond of them, and I started to understand them easily. And yeah, and then with racism, I can't speak to it directly because I have not experienced it. The one time
mhm,
I experienced it, I wouldn't call it. I don't want to dignify because the experience I had with the person whom I experienced it with was not even a normal person. Was not even a normal Irish. I mean, this was a junkie. You know,
right.
he was a junkie, and it was soon in the morning. I was trying to catch a bus, and he was all intoxicated and high, and approached me in a way that was not very nice. And I mean, call me names. Yeah, that was the first time I really experienced what they call racism. I have never experienced that in life before, but the first time I saw it with my eyes, and but I didn't really dignify it. I mean, it didn't make me to see the Irish society as being racist. No,
Mm.
that was just an instant. It was just an event,
Just that one
just one
individual.
one individual. So I never took it
That's
personal.
good.
Yeah, but so far I have not experienced anything racist. I have not had any crime against me. I love to move at night. I love to walk at night. One of the things I enjoy about Ireland is moving any time of the night. You can get out of your
Mm,
house, move any time of the night, and no one is going to touch you. No one. I mean, no one. All you find in some cities, you cannot even move at night. You cannot even
yeah,
move alone. They jump you. In the US, they jump you. Certain part of London, they jump you. You cannot
yeah.
find that in Ireland. They do. There are some cases I've heard, but With me, I have not experienced any, so I can't say, I can't speak for others.
The crime is there, but it's low
Yeah,
because there's
yeah,
there's crime
yeah,
everywhere. But there's
yeah.
there's
That's what I'm
some that
saying.
is an everyday crime, and there's
Yeah,
some that is just once in a while sort of occurrences. Yeah.
yeah. So that's it. And the environment is good. Only another issue is the food. Ah, the food is horrible. The food is horrible. Irish don't know how to cook. I can tell you that for free. The Irish don't know how to cook. And coming from an African background, used to eating African food and spicy food, and then you enter a restaurant and you see potatoes, and then they turn potatoes into a soup. Imagine potatoes into a soup, and then they call it a soup. Huh?
Yeah.
So you can,
I think we can all be
yeah, yeah,
yeah, we can all relate to that.
yeah.
But unfortunately that's their culture as well.
That's the culture,
So
yeah. So we came
yeah.
and then we started finding it difficult to get food. But then if you we managed to find our way around. We found some African markets, some Asian stores, and you could get
Mm,
something similar back home. Not even though it may not be exact, but you could get something similar, especially from those Asian stores. And there are a lot of Nigerian stores here. I find it fascinating how aside Nigeria, most of the other African countries don't know about Ireland, but Nigerians seem to know Ireland so
please,
well.
let's not talk about Nigerians right now on this program. That would need another episode by itself.
Yes.
There's actually a proverb or a saying that
Yeah.
says,
Yes.
if you go
Yes.
to a
If
place
we're
and you
going
do
to
not find
find
any
a
Nigerian,
Nigerian,
run.
right? Yeah.
Run.
So they
Yeah, those
always
those
know the
people, I
they
mean,
always know the good countries,
yeah,
the best countries in the world, where to go. Yeah.
of course.
So you find a
Yeah.
lot of Nigerian stores here where you get a lot of African food, but then it's expensive. You enter an African
Mm.
store and you want to get something similar to what you have for back home. It's almost sometimes twice or thrice the price. So
So saying, just to add to that, it's not just in Ireland. So a typical shopping for an African food like items in the UK, if either here in Scotland or when I go back to England, it's more or less like just one shopping of maybe a few plantain here and there. I miss buying 3 or 4 plantains for £1. You don't get that anymore. They put it on the scale and they charge you, and you're paying like £3 4 now. Um, so if you're traveling, that's one thing, regardless of where you go, whether Ireland or UK, US, Canada, African food in itself is very expensive, because obviously it's traveled miles to get there, and people are trying to obviously have monopoly over it as well. So it's not just in Ireland, it is expensive. It's like
okay,
one shopping is like my 3 weeks like normal shopping, um food shopping, because the last time I went to get proper um food stuff, I paid £60. 60
oh
pounds
my
for one shopping.
goodness,
Yeah,
wow,
that's
that's a
that's like
lot.
my 3 week. Yeah,
That's a
that's my
lot.
3 week
Yeah,
shopping,
that's a
because
lot. That's a
I
lot.
try not to spend more than £20 a week on food,
Yeah,
and
that's a
that's
lot.
just the one African shopping, 60 quid. So if you want to eat back home
That's a
food
lot.
or similar to it,
Yeah,
it's you're
similar
looking
to
at
it.
that money.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're looking at that prices like 30, nothing less than 30 40 quid, to be honest.
yeah.
So yeah, that's the price we pay for
I
being
know
so far
exactly.
away from
Yeah,
home.
so far away from home. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's a
yeah,
lot. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
these are some of the chat. I mean, for those who cannot do without African food, then you have to you have to have an extra budget for it. But then if you
Mm,
once you can integrate easily, and for me, anything goes. I just don't like to. I don't eat a lot though, and I'm not a very food intentional person. Like if I don't get this, no. Like I can eat bread, I can eat anything Irish, and I'm okay. I just
mm.
that's me. And besides, I have to work on budget. My status just changed. I have to find a job. A lot of things I have to consider. So I have to manage myself in such a way that I don't spend a lot of money. So yeah, the
Mm,
economy is good. Food is very cheap here, that I can show you of. Food is very cheap. Food, clothes, I mean, those are things you can get very cheap. The expensive things that I will add will be, if in terms of material wearings, will be branded things. Once they are branded, I'm sure it's not just with Ireland, but everywhere else in the world. Once they are branded, they have extra price tags. Yeah, but then
mm,
food, ordinary clothes that you just need to cover your body and stay warm, those things you can find them so cheap, so cheap. So those are not things to worry about. But if you making this place your destination and you self-funded, make an extra budget for housing. Renting is very costly,
mm,
especially if you intend to reside within the capital. If you want to go outside the capital, yes, your budget could be a little lower. That's fine. So yeah, that's my advice to anyone who's considering Ireland, but it's a great destination. The people are so welcoming. It's not as complicated as other countries to settle down. That's the word I want to use. I would not say easy, but it's not as complicated. It's just
mm.
straightforward. You meet this requirement, you get this. You meet this
You get it.
requirement, you get this. That's it. That's
Mm,
that's it.
mm,
It's just straightforward. You don't need to go through a lawyer. Like in America, you have to find a lawyer, all kinds of back and forth, back and forth. You don't need all that. You just need to meet requirements, and then you get this. That's it. You
mm.
sit right. In fact, I applied for my new status whilst I was back home. I applied
Okay.
for status whilst I was back home on vacation, and then my resident permit was delivered to my address. Okay, so
Wow, that
that's how
easy.
that's how
Mm,
easy it is. Okay,
okay.
it's not complicated. The Irish has set up the system in such a way that, I mean, so that it makes you feel comfortable, so that it invites foreigners. You know,
Hmm.
they have this history of being foreigners themselves. So they've designed the society
Yeah,
in such a way
that's
that
true.
they accommodate people. They love to
Mm,
accommodate. So it's a great destination, especially for education, especially for those who are trying to relocate and want to raise children. Let me add, it's a great society to raise kids.
mm.
Um, you, in terms of the low crime rate, in terms of bringing your child up in the way you want, though there are external influences with all the other things they do, all the European countries, they do the same thing. But I mean, environment is good. If you intend to give your child good doctrines, yeah, it's fine, it's great. Yeah,
Wow.
so yeah, consider, if you are considering Ireland, yes, I say go for it.
Right. Thank you so much, Marcus. For those that have just joined us, or if you've been dipping in and out, so what we've spoken about so far is um why you should, or reasons why you should consider Ireland as part of your Jackpa your Jackpa journey, or your relocation, or even looking for study abroad opportunities. It's very it's not one of the trending locations,
No,
and
no.
being around, or being
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
what do I call it, the environment of study abroad.
yeah. Studied
Everybody,
abroad.
or
Yeah, everybody.
majority,
Yeah,
yeah, looking at UK, Canada,
UK, Canada, US, Australia.
US, Germany. Yes,
Yeah.
Germany and Australia. And I mean your China every now and again. And I
Nah.
think Japan, because of technology, is also
Yeah,
becoming,
because of technology.
or
Yeah,
just people that just want to leave the African
yeah,
continent.
the African
All,
continent. Yeah.
yeah, would just go anywhere. But Ireland is one I would personally encourage people to tap into. If you're looking at study abroad, okay, this let's take ourselves and look at the bigger picture of study abroad, right? Why do you want to study abroad? Because one, the financial um
Yes, and
was a burden back home. Hmm.
if you, I forgot to add, they you just mentioned the point that brought something back to my mind in terms of educational cost is very low. Ireland has one of the lowest educational costs
Mm,
you can find in any country. To get a master's degree, you can spend up to you can get up to 8 9,000 and get a master's degree. Yes, eight
wow.
9,000 you can get a master's degree. Whilst in the US, you can get anything less than 50, 30, all above, so it's a great location. I mean, a lot of Americans
Mm-hmm,
come here and I see them at the immigration, like, why are you here in school? Are you an American? Like, it's cheaper to go to school here.
mm,
Like, oh yeah, and
it's,
besides,
yeah.
it is 1 year for a master's degree, whilst in the US 2 years, and it's so costly to get a master's degree in the US if you don't have funding. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to add.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, so even with the UK as well, for home students, currently I'm doing a part-time studies, and it's costing me 18K.
Oh my goodness.
18,000 for a part-time. Yes. So it doesn't come cheap.
It doesn't come cheap.
um when it comes to, yeah, when it comes to masters, so with overseas student or international students, it comes with a price tag for the education that you get. So yes. So looking at study abroad in the bigger picture, if it is education that you're looking for, a lot of the time, yes, you would want to consider the country you're going to. However, I would say think about the program you want to study and which country is best known for it, and
That's
then
good.
go for it. If it is really
Yeah,
education that you're looking for,
yeah,
unless you are just looking to just go away. If you're looking to go away, then fair enough. But if it is really the education that you're looking at to attain. I mean, there's some countries that it's good to go to for what it's known, like, UK. I studied in the UK, studied in the US, I studied in Canada. It sounds good. However, maybe the course that or the program that you did or you're looking to pursue would probably be best suited in, I don't know,
yeah. In another
you
country.
know
Yeah,
Ireland or Germany that you've not even considered. So I have been, advising people, or the few people that approach me, that if you definitely know exactly what you want to study, you should start by looking at which country has the resources, so that you just don't get a piece of paper, but you actually get what it is that you're spending your 1 year, 3 years, or how many ever years that your program is however long that it's for. So bear this in mind. You don't have to listen to it, but it's a good one to look at if you're looking at countries that has the best resources for certain courses that you want to do. I mean, with the new AI and all of this, there are countries that have invested billions of money into making it the best place to go for AI schools, or cyber security, or medicine, whatever it is that you're looking to study. So yes, so if you just joined us, or if you've been dipping in and out, we looked at why you should consider not Northern Ireland, Ireland as your destination, or why you should consider it as part of your study abroad. It's not very tapped, but then it's the education institution in Ireland is very good. I mean, they've got state of the art universities in Ireland, and if you're looking at international student opportunities, there are scholarships available, fully funded. Marcus being a recipient of one of the best scholarships out there in Ireland. Um, like Marcus said, they are known to be immigrants themselves, so they've the culture is very accepting, because they are foreigners themselves, so the culture there is very accepting. Again, it's not tapped, it's not saturated, it's very saturated. There's not really everyone flowing in, like your US, your UK that we've mentioned. And even if you want to go there by yourself to study, paying for fees, just like Germany, fees to study is free, but you have to meet certain criteria in terms of how much money you have in your account to prove that you'll be able to self-sustain yourself during that period. It goes with studying in Ireland. And also the fact that the visa route is actually very accommodating as well. So in the UK, US, and most of these European countries, you've got your 6 months when after your program to look for a job. And after that 6 months, 6 months is like the longest you can stay and work, like they say, to get some of your money back from studying and leaving home. But even those 6 months, for
Hmm.
you to get a professional job, it's difficult. So,
It's difficult. Yeah.
I mean, you still can do the 20 hour, yeah, you can still do the 20 hours a week part-time job, which might not be the best jobs out there, but you've got 6 months. Whereas in Ireland, you've got 2 years to look for a skilled job or a job. And then you can upgrade through the visas, your G1 and G2, or 1G, whichever one comes first. And
Yeah.
then you can apply for your residency. And from what we've learned today, it looks like it's like we're saying, it's not easy, but it is very flexible. The
It's
the the
straightforward.
whole process
It's
is
flexible and
very
straightforward. Yeah.
accommodating and straightforward. Yeah. So if you're looking to study abroad, look into opportunities in Ireland, learn about Ireland. There are YouTube videos. There's many resources on
Yeah.
the
A
internet
lot.
now.
A lot.
Spend
Yeah.
time and research into it. You never know what you will find, and then you could consider Ireland as your next. And guess what? You'll be next door to UK. You'll be next door to Europe. So you're still traveling into Europe.
Yeah.
And with the Schengen visa, you can enter into a lot of different European countries. I mean, Marcus, you were in the UK recently, weren't you?
So interestingly, I discovered that you Ireland is not part of the European Union. Ireland is part of the European Union, but Ireland is not on the Schengen visa. So
Is
Ireland
it
is
not?
part. No, it's not. So,
Because they're using euros. I've actually
yes,
always thought
exactly.
they.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So Ireland is part of the EEA, the Economic Area of the European Union. So they're not part of the
Mm.
Schengen area. So, but notwithstanding, with an Irish resident permit, getting visas for any of the Schengen countries becomes so easy. They don't even ask you questions. They don't even ask you
Right.
questions. Oh, you don't get too much. I mean, you just sit, apply, and you get it. Once you have a resident permit to get any of those uh, Schengen visas, it becomes so easy. Yeah, so that should not be a worry for somebody who wants to you come to
Mm.
Ireland, travel to those other Schengen countries. It's so easy. Yeah, so that should not be an issue to
Uh,
worry about. Yeah.
sure. Okay. Ignore what I said. I think because I've moved freely around. I feel
Okay.
like it's, yeah. I I sort of sometimes confuse the free movement with the
Yeah,
visas that you
with
need
the
to get.
visas. Yeah.
So forget what I said. Yeah, you have to apply for, but it's easy. And I
No,
mean, even
it's
if you're in the UK, right, and you have a UK student visa, for you to get visas into the rest of Europe is very easy. I
yeah.
mean,
I
I know
mean,
international students that have traveled around Europe by just applying. On so far as you're in the country and you're applying it, it's quite easy. So yeah, you can't travel freely, but I mean, you can. It's easy to get the visas, but it's not visa
yeah,
free. It's not part
yeah.
of
It's not
Schengen.
that's it.
So
That's the
yeah,
difference.
correct,
You can
correct that.
travel
Thank.
freely,
Yeah,
but yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. You need a visa. Okay, so Ruth says, how can we get these opportunities? Sometimes you get the school, but the scholarship becomes a problem. And please, do I have to learn any language before I can come over?
So one of the things that makes Ireland a great destination is because It's an English speaking country. So most of us from Africa and the English speaking side of Africa, we find it very easy to integrate into such societies because back home, education was taught in English. Okay, Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria,
Mm,
everything is taught in English. So for those of you who have issues with learning different language, and Ireland is a great destination because it's an English speaking country. So you don't have anything to worry about. You just need to be able to what, speak well, listen well, and be able to understand how they speak how they speak here. That's it. Nothing difficult. Yeah.
mm. Yeah. And how you can get these opportunities. So, well, I for one, I share opportunities on my page. There are loads of people or profiles on LinkedIn that shares opportunity, or you can just Google it. Just go on Google and search for fully funded Ireland opportunities, and you will get a list
And you will
of
find and
scholarships
you find
opportunities.
a
There's
lot
a
of it,
lot. Yeah,
a lot of it.
yeah. So
So
aside the government one, most of
yeah.
this, yeah, go
So
for it.
what I wanted to add was, if you intend to come to Ireland any other way, it's going to be very difficult for you. Any other way is going to be very difficult. The easiest way to get to Ireland is through school education. So I just
Mm.
wanted folks out there to know, if you're applying for any other visa apart from study visa, is so difficult. It's complicated, and the process is so long that, and it takes so long that you get frustrated. So the easiest way to go is to go through education. So the scholarships that are out there, the government of Ireland has scholarships that comes out every year. It's not the national government. The Irish Aid is one
Mm.
of them. Irish Aid is another one. Then every university in Ireland has its own in-house scholarship, fully funded. So you can Google both ways. I can't give you all the different scholarships out of my head.
So I literally just Googled it. I said fully funded list of Ireland fully funded
Yeah,
scholarship for
yeah,
international students, and I've gotten more than 10. So you've
more
got
than
your
10.
Fulbright that covers
Yeah,
Ireland.
yeah.
Chevening covers
Chevening
Ireland because
Coverage
it's the
also, yeah,
UK,
yeah,
but
it's
yeah.
the UK, yeah.
You got the government of Ireland,
Really?
great university,
Yeah.
great scholarship. Trinity College
Trinity,
Dublin
yeah,
one
the
is
ones,
a
yeah,
good
yeah,
one to
yeah.
look
I
at.
mentioned,
So
yeah.
yeah, aside the government one, the schools
The
also
schools
offer
also, yeah,
these
offer
scholarships,
these scholarships themselves. Yeah,
which people do not look at. I always
yeah,
tell people, even
yeah,
if you have your external ones like your
yeah,
Chevening, your
yeah,
Fulbright, and all of
yeah.
this, your dad, the
The
school that
school,
the faculties
yeah,
always have
yeah, scholarship.
scholarships, so always take advantage of that as well. So Ruth, just go online, Google it, do a little bit of research, and you'll be surprised the kind of things that you will find. And also you're on LinkedIn, find individuals that share opportunities, and I'm sure one of them would share these opportunities. I think that my first event with Marcus was when I shared an Ireland scholarship opportunity, and a lot of questions came about, and I had to get him on an event ASAP so he can answer them. So yeah, join or follow individuals that share opportunities, and then you or Google it and research it yourself, and I'm sure you get more than enough answers on there. So Joel says, great discussion. I just finished putting in an application. See you there soon, Marcus. Right. Well,
I love to
get
see
in
it
touch with
too.
Marcus, and
Yeah,
we wish you all the best in your application.
yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, that's another thing as well. Whenever you've applied for all these schools on these events with the guest, get in contact with them so that when you do get into that country, even if you don't know them, at least you have the opportunity to meet people from LinkedIn, and this is how you create connection. And since they're already there, they could actually help you with a lot of things without you having to suffer and figure it out, um, by yourself. So do get in contact, Joel, and we wish you all the best in your application. Mary says F4 always shares opportunities. Do connect with her. Thank you for the support. Yes. And Yeah, so this is the summary of what we've shared so far. If there are no more questions, thank you very much for joining us in this event. And apologies for the cancellation or postponing it. We didn't really cancel it. We postponed it to today. So thank you
Yeah.
very much for sticking with it and also showing up to join us and listen to us today. We appreciate you a lot. My name is Efwa, and I was here with my guest Marcus Johnson, who is in Ireland and enjoying a full funded opportunity by the Irish government. Do connect with him if you have any specific Ireland related scholarship questions, and I'm sure he will be the best person to give you the answers. I only know Ireland from in and out, and I just enjoy going in and out of Dublin, and that's all I know. So Marcus would be the best person who's lived there, schooled there, and would, as an international student, would have more personal answers for you than I would. So do get in contact with him. And if you want to rewatch this episode, join or connect with us, like our page or follow our page on YouTube, and it's CTN underscore 23 on YouTube, but you can also find it on my page when where I've linked it to the post that we've made so far. So do consider Ireland. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's not as competitive as your US. It is still competitive, but it's not flooded like your US
That's
and
it.
all these
Yeah,
other
that's it. That's it.
countries, popular countries out there. So take advantage of it now before it becomes a very popular destination and you have to join the queue. Look at Luxembourg as well. Luxembourg is also a great country to go to. Yes, Ruth, kindly type your question as we're about to wrap up the event. So Marcus, as we wait for Ruth to finish typing her question, give us your last words.
Yeah.
Or
So
your final submission to those that are looking to consider Ireland.
so talking about connecting with us every time we have programs like this is very important because I remember the last time we had a conversation on the Irish aid. You remember, right?
Mm,
A guy
mm-hmm.
connected with me from there. And from there on, he kept coming back and forth, and he was applying for the Irish aid, and we were back and forth, and I was helping him through. And luckily for him, he made it through. He's at one of the most crucial stage now, because as I said, it's about like it's around like
Nice, nice, nice,
a
nice,
full
nice,
stage
nice.
something, and he was just inbox back and forth, and I helped him. So it's these programs are meant for us to connect, network, get to know each other. Have if you have issues, you can connect. And now he's going so far, and every time he texts me, man, I'm so happy that I could connect with you. I'm so grateful. So these programs are intended to be able to expose opportunities to others that are out there who are looking for it. And Ifya is doing a very great job. Every now and then she comes up with this uh, with this amazing idea about bringing uh, people who actually experience the situation. Getting getting someone who live in the country to talk about the country is one of the best things you can do, because you get to have on hands experience. And she does this all the time, and it's a great opportunity to network, to expand our horizon, meet new people, give out opportunities. If there are opportunities that we can identify, we can help you with. If there are opportunities you identify and you want to find a way around it, how to go about it, we are also here. And I feel honored every time I get to speak to her on this on her platform. In my own little way, I'm trying to see how I can impact the world, you know, how I can give back. And every time I have an opportunity like this to be able to give back, I feel humbled. So yes, I want to say I am humbled. If yeah, I hope we can do something else, come up with something different again. Yeah, so yeah, it's a great opportunity for me to be able to share my experience and what I've gone through. And I wouldn't want you to tow a path that would lead you into frustration. A lot of students, international students, they don't read about countries, they just hear about them, and they are excited and they just want to leave the continent. And so they just get, you either get duped, get robbed on the
Mm.
internet. A lot of fraud is going on the internet. People ask you for money. Nobody should ask you for money to do scholarships, especially with the thousands of fully funded scholarships that are out there. Okay, it costs you nothing to research,
Yep.
verify, send applications out that you are not paying money. All you need to do is get data on your phone or on your laptop. So yeah, get yourselves exposed, get yourself, put your open yourself to new opportunities, and there you'll find yourself whatever you're looking for, whatever you are after in life, whatever you dream of, go after it, and before you know it, you'll be where you're supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcus. You said a lot in that submission, and thank you for always making time to come on these events with me, and also to all my guests that have actually graced our screens over the last year that I started these events. I have learned a lot as well, and I've made great connections having start this event or program. So yeah, thank you all to my past guest and my current guest and my future guests. So yeah, thank you all very much. And yes, like Marcus said, it is really a way for us to give back, in terms of I have also seen a lot of people being, hustled for money for information that
Yeah,
is
yeah, that is freely
out there,
available. Yeah,
and they're using it to make money. Yeah, they're using it to make money. I mean, and to be honest with you, being in this space, right, Marcus, sometimes I feel I kind of I can I'm not encouraging it, but I kind of understand why some people charge for it. Because sometimes when you're giving out something for free, people do
yeah.
not
People do not
appreciate it
appreciate it. Yeah,
until
you're
they
right.
charge for it. So I
That's true.
also
That's
feel
true. Yeah,
some
yeah.
people are charging, people are charging because at least you would appreciate it because you're paying for it, but it shouldn't be. And also when you're spending your time to help some people and they're not also pushing their weight, it becomes frustrating. But then if you've paid for it, I believe you will put more effort into it than you would when it's free. I'm not encouraging that you should go and pay, but then I'm just saying, if you're not also willing to put in the time to research and come back with or come up with specific questions, then people are always going to look for a way to make
That's
money.
right.
And
That's
this
true. That's
opportunity,
true.
this, studying abroad is one of those ways. And also be careful of people that have just literally been able to make it abroad. Some of them didn't even make the application themselves, and they are now experts in study abroad. Just be
I know,
careful.
right? I
Always
know,
should be
right?
saying, be careful. We're not here to ruin anybody's business, but
I
hey,
know.
so Ruth is saying we see we see the first class and the second class up is only having opportunities. There are opportunities for second class lower tutus. There are opportunities out there. And also the thing is, if you're a second class lower student, it doesn't mean you still can't apply for these opportunities that say two ones and first class. You can write a very solid SOP with a second class lower. I've seen second class lowers that have gotten fully funded opportunities and the first class didn't get, because what makes you stand out is the fact that sometimes it's not because you're a bad student. Things happen over the years.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have your people from a very underprivileged background who have struggled throughout university. So if given the opportunity to have everything at their disposal, they could have been the your first class. And some people too, the only reason why they were able to get first class is because they were just too focused on the education. They've not made any impact anywhere. They've not occupied leadership roles, didn't take on any extra curriculum. So you can do other things. You can have other things to build yourself up as a second class lower to still boost your profile for these opportunities. And some of these opportunities don't even ask for it just asks it just states if you're from an African country, basically, and if you've studied a certain um degrees or you've done certain programs. So it's not, I know what you mean and it looks like it, but if you come back with specificities of what it is that you're looking for and how to go about it, you can still make a lot out of your second class lower opportunities. I think it's been a while now since I shared that post where I listed a list of universities that would take on second class lowers, and we had a program as well on how to still be able to make yourself um, stand out with opportunities out there with a second class lower. So if you've already got it right, you're still young, there's still opportunities out there. How can you boost, find volunteering opportunities out there, find a way to make yourself stand out with the soft skills that you have. You know, if there is a story behind you getting your second class lower, your perseverance, your not giving up attitude, and the fact that you're even still looking to go into grad school with that grade and not, close yourself out of the opportunity, shows or speaks volumes. So there's always a way around it. So get in touch and let's see how we can work together on this. But yeah, second class lower does not mean the world has ended on you. You still go up, there's opportunities, there's loads of opportunities. Again, go on Google and type in opportunities for second class lower or two or always search for something, right? If you don't get anything, then that means it's not out there. But there is. Sometimes it just takes more than one search, but there are opportunities out there for you. So get in touch and then we'll see how best we can help you. So without wasting much more time, thank you to our viewers, thank you to our listeners, thank you to our guest Marcus. It's great to have you as a guest on changing the narrative. Thank you for sharing your journey with us, and also sharing the opportunities out there in the Ireland community or country, and opening our eyes on a lot that we've not considered in terms of looking for study abroad journeys. So thank you all very much. Have a great weekend until we meet again. It's almost the end of the year, but it's not the end of opportunities. Use this time to build yourself up again, create a list, work through the list, look out for opportunities that are open for next year. If you're looking to go into graduate school next year, the time to start preparation is now. There's still opportunities open till January, February, March next year, and to apply for it is now. So go out there and put yourself out there. And one no does not mean you're not good enough, right? A no does not mean you're not good. It just a competitive world out there. And mind you, these opportunities, are looking for international student. International student meaning anybody out of that jurisdiction. So you can imagine how many people are applying for it. It's just a very competitive world, and you just have to keep looking and not give up on the on your focus, on your destiny, on and what your future, what you want to be. So keep trying, keep applying, and you will never know when your yes will come. The only time you will miss out is when you stop applying, you stop your yes from coming to you. So my name is Efwa, and I was here with Marcus. It's bye from us today and this evening. Thanks for your time. If you want to rewatch it, go on our YouTube page and you will be able to revisit it. So thank you all, and we hope you've learned something from today. Thank you, and it's bye for now.